What is freedom from dualism? It is the absence of involvement with either the external or the internal. So that's like giving up the reification of this sort of really real boundary between self and other, self and world. It is non-deviation, non-fluctuation, and non-distraction from equanimity. I am equal from others. We are truly all equal. Perceptually, what is equanimity? It is the quality of everything from self to liberation. Why? Because both self and liberation are void. How can both be void? As verbal designations, they both are void, and neither is established in reality. So liberation itself is unreal. Ultimate reality is ultimately unreal. It's relatively real and relatively ultimate. Therefore, one who sees such a quality makes no difference between sickness and voidness. His sickness is itself voidness, and that sickness as voidness is itself void. Delivered up out of the machine. But that's the diamond drill machine of our own mind. That's the machine of freedom. The sick bodhisattva should recognize that sensation is ultimately non-sensation. That is to say, it dissolves under analysis, but he should not realize the cessation of sensation. That is, he shouldn't go into a dualistic nirvana, subject, a reification of a dualistic state of nirvana, which is not true nirvana. There is then no sacrifice of the great compassion for all living beings living in the bad migrations, because there's no sacrifice, because the sensitivity has not been dulled by withdrawing into an unsensate place. Although one oneself does not egocentrically experience sense pleasure and pain in the habitual way of some sort of divided thing that, that's my pleasure or that's my pain, nevertheless the sensitivity is infinite, and therefore all beings' feelings are felt, and therefore one has the great compassion for all living beings. Thus recognizing in his own suffering the infinite sufferings of these living beings, like an empath, the empath, how does the empath feel your suffering? Well, they feel it in themselves. And once they know they're an empath, then they know that's not really my pain. And they also know that your pain, that you're feeling, that you think is really real, is only unreally real. So they care about it because they feel you feeling it, but they also know you can relieve yourself out of it and free yourself by understanding its nature and having it dissolve under your analysis by developing the diamond wisdom. So that's how you're really free. I mean, they go and say, have a Band-Aid, have an aspirin, have an anesthetic, but that's only temporary, because then you're just temporarily have a relief. But when you understand that yourself can dissolve your pain and reduce it from being really real to being unreally real, only, we're non-dual from freedom, then you have the knowledge, but the knowledge is not, you're not bound to the knowledge. And that's why you then can expand to feel the feeling of all others. How could anybody who is thinking, I'm so really suffering, and the only pain that ever exists in the world is my pain, and then suddenly I'm going to have everybody else's pain like that? Who would want that? But if you're Neo, if you're the one in the matrix, if you realize the matrix-like nature of the world, of life, it's just a realm of beings, minds, then although you know they're suffering, you want to help them not suffer. You know simultaneously that it's suffering and not suffering. You're simultaneously free and aware. You're sensitive, but you're free of that sensitivity at the same time. It's beautiful. So Neo, bum, 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 he gets the bullets in his chest, and then pop, 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 he pops them out. When he thought they were really real bullets, he died. And then his body died back, because it's just an analogy. It's such a great analogy, the Matrix. It's so vivid to us when we see it, that then we can imagine if we were living this now like the Matrix. Totally committed, dedicated, improving this, helping each other, being friendly, having fun, etc. But not, okay, dealing with some difficulties and pain and suffering in others. And then, of course, dealing with feeling it in them by feeling it as if we felt it ourselves. But yet it's all a matrix. We also know the matrix, so we can try to help the others deconstruct it and thereby free themselves from Thus, recognizing in his own suffering the infinite suffering of these living beings, the Bodhisattva correctly contemplates these living beings and resolves to cure all sicknesses. How would you have such a resolution? If they were all so real, then there's no way of curing them. Then it's hopeless. You can't cure, so you would never have such a determination and resolve. You cannot have a real drive to be a Buddha unless you can imagine there is such a thing as a Buddha. If you have to imagine that, and you imagine it by looking at the little bits, you can imagine walking to California by walking 1 or 2 steps and seeing how you really, well, I really went across the George Washington Bridge, I got to New Jersey. Oh, now I can imagine walking to California. If you're just always sitting there, you're in Manhattan, and never cross the bridge, then you're no way. As for these living beings, and this is even greater, there is nothing to be applied, and there is nothing to be removed. That is the vision of seeing them as actually nirvana, as actually configurations of an ocean of energy of bliss. Themselves contorted by their misunderstanding of what they really are into being unreally, thinking what they really are is what they unreally are, which is like something separate from the ocean of everything. And having like all kind of negative energies like nasty cosmic rays, low pressure like in voids in which they will explode, diseases, germs, assaulted by the hostile energies of the universe, fighting everything, trying to like maintain a shell against it. But actually they are awfully cool. There's no way they are it. It is them. The nirvana vision, the light being sees all, there's no interruption of the vast ocean of bliss that is nirvana. Which does not make them insensitive to the fact that others, in fact, not only that, but makes them totally loving in the sense that, my dear living being, you are a piece of nirvana, and yet you're like completely freaked out. Like, how can you do that? And of course, if you just say that, then they're going to shoot you. Like, what do you mean telling me I'm a nirvana? Like, you must be trying to get something out of me. I'm going to kill you. I believe in God. God is nirvana. Some other being somewhere else. And you're bad. You don't believe in that. So bam, I'm going to kill you. And don't tell me I'm in nirvana. And don't tell me you're in nirvana. You might be lazy and not want to work for my factory if you think you're in nirvana. So you're finished. You go to prison if you go around saying nirvana. That's what they do. To these people who see nirvana, who see the kingdom of God within, they destroy them. So it's not that easy. And so, Jesus, forgive them for they know not what they do.